Now, it's the Scam of the Week.
I'm Tommy Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week with Marjorie Stevens from the Better Business Bureau of Northern Indiana. Hi, Marjorie.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. We're talking this week about something that's sadly near and dear to all of our hearts, storm damage. Summertime brings the sunshine, it brings the warm weather, but it also usually brings damaging storms and tornadoes like those that were seen across the northern part of the Hoosier State last month. And this storm damage can cause a lot of panic for the victims, which could lead to very rash and hasty decisions. You know, if there's a big tree that's bashed in part of your house and is blocking your driveway, you're going to try to think as fast as you can to get it out of there. And this can lead to a victim hiring an unknown or untrustworthy contractor, which causes further damage, both financial and physical sometimes. And a lot of times consumers don't know what their options are in the event of a natural disaster, correct?
You're correct. You know, when a storm hits, usually it's unexpected and it makes sense because people aren't, unless it's, you know, like a hurricane that people are trying to button up their windows and things for. But it's the first thing that victims of storms want to do is get the home or business back into tip-top shape, you know, as quickly as possible. And so it's really important to access the damage to see if the temporary repairs can be made, to provide a little more time until permanent repairs can be undertaken. But it's also really important to choose contractors carefully and understand documents are being signed, because a lot of times after a storm, you may have some people coming door to door and wanting you to sign agreements, so you really need to be careful.
And the documents play a key role when you're working with both a contractor and an insurance company. You need to understand the start and end date for any repair work so that those dates can be communicated to all parties and a payment date can be agreed upon before the consumer and insurance company get things rolling. And you need this stuff written down. Now, I know you've got some tips that'll help people who have storm damage to deal with.
I have some good tips, Tommy. First of all, contact your insurance company. It's really important to do this just as soon as possible to inquire about what your policy does cover and specific filing requirements for the insurance. Document everything. Absolutely. Document damage to your property. That includes autos. There might be autos that were damaged if a garage caved in or whatever. Take pictures or video if possible. And review all the documents, understand the terms and conditions, and get copies of any warranties or guarantees. Get references, check with friends and relatives, and of course, contact the BBB. Either contact or go to bbb.org to obtain free business reviews on any business that you might be considering hiring to do the work. And then read and understand anything you're asked to sign. Avoid signing an estimate or an authorization form before you've decided to hire a particular contractor.
And as always, remember BBB's Scam Tracker. That's a quick way for consumers to look for scams that are current, what tactics these con artists are using that make them sound legitimate, or even the scare tactics that they're using to goad consumers into doing something in haste. That's the safest thing you can always do. bbb.org/scam tracker. Check out what's going on. And remember, if you're the victim of a scam, you should also go to the Federal Trade Commission site and report that at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Your partners there at the FTC. Because your story can always help consumers avoid similar scams and kind of pay it forward, as it were. So get the word out. Be careful about the person that you don't know who's offering you offers that are too good to be true, because as we always say, that means they usually are.
You're right, Tommy. Perfect. Thanks for the advice to the listeners today.
Same to you. Marjorie Stevens with the Better Business Bureau. It's always a pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Podcasts by Federated Media.